So these days, there's a lot of smartphone options, from high-end multi-camera solutions to folding phones, to phones that have glass on both sides with fast charging and curved screens. But an area that still seems to be underutilized is mid-range and budget phones, especially budget phones, good budget phones. That's where nothing has made the CMF Phone 2 Pro. Let's talk about it. So just reaching this cost of $280 is an amazing feat they did in a typical form factor style phone with multiple cameras, with a fast screen, good quality design and feel, large screen, with some pretty good specs overall. It's quite amazing what they've accomplished here. This is probably the budget phone to beat this year. Let's talk about specs. What does it offer that might make it a worthy phone for you? Honestly, its whole package is great. It offers features good enough to do anything you would do daily, from browsing the web to surfing to internet to email to social media to scrolling TikTok to even light gaming. This thing is packed enough that you will not really probably run into much of a lag or performance issues with this. You probably still will if you are a really heavy gamer. That'll be where you'll probably notice it more than anywhere. But day-to-day use, maybe on the camera occasionally as well, but overall you will not notice any slowdown. And part of that has to deal with Nothing's skin on top of Android. It's a very slimmed down Android version. Think like a Pixel. So it's very stock wise, but they offer this more matte type of finish to the OS and to all the buttons. It's gray, black and gray basically finish. You can change the colors, but it's a very slimmed down, sleek take on Android. You don't have any bloatware. You don't have any advertising that you would on a cheap phone like this. You don't have any bloat or loaded extra apps. You don't have any of that on this. So out of the gate, this thing runs smooth. What does it offer inside to make it run smooth? This is where it's running a MediaTek 7300, which it's running a MediaTek Dimensity 7300 chip on board. It's a mid-range chip, but it still offers great performance for day-to-day stuff. It's basically a quad-core processor that runs at 2.5 gigahertz. And honestly, I haven't seen any performance issues, any movement through the OS, any apps that I typically use, I haven't seen any issues with. On top of that, of course, you have built-in storage, starting at 128 gig, but you can get 256. Still plenty for most people. The specs are 8 gig of RAM, which is a little bit lower by today's standards now. Most of the time you'll see 12 or 16, but 8 is still capable of handling apps. Basically what your RAM is doing is just holding those extra apps in the background in memory so that you can pick up right where you left off. So if you're not one that really cares about having 20 apps still running in the background to where you can pick up back where you left off, 8 gig of RAM is going to be plenty for you, even for gaming. Some of the other achievements this has made is with this, the screen. As we can see here and in some B-roll, it is pretty small bezels for this type of product or this price range of a product. So I've been pretty impressed with the screen. It's actually a 6.7 inch screen that runs at 1080p. Still plenty high enough resolution in my opinion for a smartphone, and it has 120 hertz refresh rate, which personally to me, if I had to choose between a 1080p at 120 or a 1440p screen at 60, I would choose the 1080 at 120, just because that smooth refresh rate really does make a difference in how the phone feels in as far as speed goes. So the display is really good on this. I've had no complaints with it so far. Of course, it does support HDR10 Plus as well. So watching videos on it, the detail's great. It works good for YouTube or any other video streaming services. So you would think between a great display and a pretty good quality processor, it's got to be the battery that is the big letdown here. No, it's a 5,000 milliamp battery in this guy. So they didn't even skip on the battery size. You should have a pretty much, with this style resolution of screen and this size of battery with 5,000 milliamps, you should be able to make it a whole day without needing to charge up. But even if you do, it's where they didn't leave off on the charging as well. It doesn't support wireless charging, but it does support up to 33 watt wired charging. So you should have pretty good fast charging. There are other smartphones out there that can charge a little bit faster or have their own proprietary charging speeds to make them incredibly fast. But 33 watt is on average your charging speeds for most phones these days. Shockingly, there's some that even charge lower or slower than that. And this is pretty good by Nothing as well, that they made sure to include good fast charging as well for their device. So where does that leave us, that where there could be a limitation in a device? Well, it's got to be the cameras, right? Not so much. This is a 50 megapixel main camera, a 50 megapixel telephoto camera, and an 8 megapixel wide angle camera. So sure, the ultra wide could be a higher resolution. Sure, is the main or the telephoto the highest resolution of cameras now? Is it hitting the 200 megapixel like some of the smartphones are? No. But is 50 megapixel plenty for most day in, day out uses? Absolutely. Especially in good natural lighting. You'll get great photos. You'll also get good videos still at 4K 30 frames a second. So you're still getting great video recording as well, along with great cameras. And even this selfie little camera here, you would think it'd be like maybe 8 megapixel top, 16 megapixel. Should be enough for selfies or your occasional video calls, FaceTime call type calls. You know, there's a lot in this phone to really not complain about, especially again when we're talking $280 US. It's not a lot of tech that you can buy for $280 these days. With tariffs and everything else increasing prices, it's hard to find a device that's $280. But there's even more that Nothing's doing. Nothing has some accessories coming out. Some markets do have them, or some content creators were able to get this. I'm still working on getting the accessories. Fingers crossed. Nothing, if you run across this video, please send them to me. But there is some lens add-ons or a back plate. There's even partnership between Nothing and Printables, so you can print your own 3D printed back case. There's a competition going on with Printables right now. I'll leave all that in the description below. You can check that out, or you can even print off your 3D printed back plate yourself and add it. There's just little things like this that Nothing is really doing that sets themselves way above the standard for budget phones. Most of the time in budget phones, you get an old Android OS that won't receive another Android OS update, or it may already be a couple Android versions behind. This is on Android 15, and it is going to get 3 OS upgrades and 6 years of security updates. Is it 7 years? No. But again, it's $280. You can't beat it. Like, get another one of these when it's the CMF Phone 3 or Phone 4 Pro in a year or two, and you're still way ahead of the costs of a flagship phone. No, honestly, where I see these being great for is first-time phone users. I know there isn't a lot of you out there anymore, but I'm talking like kids and grandparents maybe making the jump finally to a smartphone, or kids getting their first phone. This would be a great option for kids. It's got modern specs, it's good cameras even on it, so you're really not compromising a lot for a great first phone for a kid or a grandparent. Really can't go wrong with this if you're looking for a budget phone. It's not a phone to ignore in general because of how good Nothing has done on this device. It's a very capable phone, It has great specs, great screen, great camera, skin on top of the Android OS. They don't have a lot you can complain about, especially at $280 US. If you have questions about this, want to know more, want me to check out anything extra with it, maybe those accessories, or maybe to 3D print a back, let me know. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.